Okay, here we go. Hey, what's up? This is Johnny. Okay, so not finally, I remember to mark where that statement is in the big book that helped me stay in the program. In the previous video, I was sharing, and I always share about this, and how when I got here this time around in 2011, everybody was talking about prison time, domestic violence, losing the house, getting divorced, all the stuff that I have yet to experience. But because I was listening to this, I wasn't relating. I couldn't relate to a lot of the stuff that we're saying. In fact, there was even times when I was in meetings, I was thinking, fuck, I want to get drunk. I didn't walk in the meeting like that. But at some point during the meeting, I thought, fuck, I want to get drunk because the way they just shared. Anyways, so I was thinking, I don't belong here. Maybe I need to go to prison. Maybe I need to pick up a domestic violence. Maybe I need to get a felony, get a divorce, get married so I can get divorced. Because I thought those were the things that I needed to do until somebody, Bob Z, rest in peace, he shared something that changed my sobriety or changed my idea of sobriety. And it kept me in the room. And this is the thing that we never know what we're going to say that's going to help someone else out or help them crack their head open. And this is the part, it's in the big book, page 70. It's actually the fourth step. And it goes like, and this part is right here. We have begun to learn tolerance, patience, and goodwill toward all men, even our enemies, for we look at them as sick people. Now, of course, I didn't see for we look at them as sick people. I saw we have begun to learn tolerance, patience, and goodwill toward all men, even our enemies. That's what I heard, even our enemies. And I was, how am I ever going to show, or is it even possible to show tolerance, patience, and goodwill to all men, even our enemies? It's impossible. And I remember hearing this and I was just like, wow, it finally just clicked in my head. Like, how? I paid attention for the first time. And I remember going to him and asking him, and that's how my journey started. Also on page 19 in the big book, I have to look up stuff because it's hard for me to memorize a lot of things. Page 19. Here it is. And also on page 19, it talks about most of us sense the real. Also on page 19, it says, most of us sense that real tolerance of other people's shortcomings and viewpoints and respect for their opinions are attitudes which make us more useful to others. Our very lives as ex-problem drinkers depend upon our constant thought of others and how we may help meet their needs. That part. Most of us sense that real tolerance of other people's shortcomings and viewpoints and respect for their opinions or attitudes would make us more useful to others. And that today is my big problem. It's always been a problem. That part is to have tolerance, without judgment. And then the other part too, it's like, to me, they both go hand in hand. I didn't read that. I didn't understand that till later in my sobriety, but I understand it today. The other part is what I've been talking about. So when I went up to him and I asked him, that's when he told me to go to the 12 and 12 on Comstock and Bailey. So I went. Anyways, so that's what kept me in here. And after that, it was just like all ears. It cracked my head open enough to even be willing to listen. Another thing too, now that I've been here for a while, and I was talking to a friend today, and it suddenly hit me, is that, and here's a question, it's more of a question, I kind of know the answer for me. for me, I don't believe that I can have any tolerance if I haven't forgiven anyone. Um, Without forgiveness, I can't have any tolerance, because I noticed the minute I started forgiving people, the more I started learning about tolerance, about not judging. Um, it's a hard thing to do, especially when you're programmed that way. But yeah, without forgiveness, can you achieve tolerance? It's a question. I don't believe so. I believe that through forgiveness is when I learned how to tolerate, how to have tolerance. I learned the tolerance part. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I've learned, and a lot of stuff have cracked my head open to the point where I'm willing to listen. You know what? An old timer once went up to me early in my recovery. If it falls with my personality, and early in my recovery, I learned about stuff and I got all excited. I took someone took me through the 12 steps, and then I started taking another person through. Then I started taking another person through the 12 steps, and it was like it was an awesome feeling. It was a blessing. But then here's a part, because of my personality, I was having a hard time getting new people to read the book with, because I'm kind of the aggressive type, like you got to do it this way. You have to do it this way. You have to take directions, and you have to do all this crap. And this is early in my recovery, and I remember talking to people. I don't understand why I can't get anybody, but they knew the way my personality was, because I was excited, and if it helped me, it's gonna help you. But I just didn't know how to deliver the message. It's I care. I just don't know how to show that I care. And so then an old timer came up to me, goes, "Hey Johnny, can I talk to you?" And I said, "Yeah, what's going on?" And he says, because he heard me sharing at a men's stag, and then he says, "You can catch more bees with honey than you can with vinegar." And at first I was thinking, like, man, what kind of white shit is that? I never heard of that. That was like this brand new saying. He said, think about it. You can catch bees with honey. You can't catch them with vinegar. You like vinegar? No. Why? And I told him, because it doesn't have a good taste. Exactly. So when I heard that, that's when I started toning down my approach. That's when a lot of stuff started toning down. And now I go with this attitude. Like, when people ask me to read a book, I mean, I let them know, listen, I'm not here to play around with this, because there's something in here that doesn't make sense. There's a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense. And I take this real serious. So if you want to read the book with me, you can't miss. I'm not going to get involved with your personal life. I'm not going to tell you how to do your personal life unless you invite me. And by inviting me, I mean, like, unless you want to talk about what's going on at home, at work. And when you do that, I'll give you, what do they say? Like, I will give you another angle to look at. Look at it in a different way, because I'm like closed-minded, one-way track, my way or the highway. That's it. And talking to a lot of old timers, they taught me that there's other ways. I know it's crazy to think that there's other ways than my way. But anyways, so I tell them, if you want help, I'm willing to help. I am down to help. But we're gonna get in this book. And when it comes to the program, when it comes to Alcoholics Anonymous, that is my business. Your personal life is not my business, unless you want to talk about it and we can look at things in a different angle. And a lot of them say no, and the ones that have stayed, I'm truly blessed that I've taken these people through, these alcoholics through the 12 steps, because I have learned a lot from them. So, yeah, that's what I learned so far. So, if there's anybody out there that wants to do a live, or not a live, but an interview and talk about sobriety, talk about recovery, hit me up. Let me know. I'm willing, I'm down to talk about it. I'm down to listen. There's a good chance he will crack my head open because, I don't know everything, of course. Thank God I don't. Thank God that God didn't give me all the answers at once. I wouldn't be enjoying it. I wouldn't enjoy this path that I've taken. It has ups and downs, but for the most part, it's the best thing that's happened to me. So, yeah, you never know. And that's when I learned too, is like, you never know who you're talking to. Like, you never know what they're going to say that's going to help me in life. And I think the other important part is that I never know who I'm going to affect in life. I just don't. I don't know who I'm going to affect. I can affect them positive or negative. Which one? I would rather affect them positive through God's will. So, yeah, that's it. So let me know what you guys think. By the way, my sobriety date is September 25th, 2011. And by the grace of God, I still have that gift of desperation. And the crazy part is like I see people drinking and I don't even crave it. The obsession has been lifted. As the big book says, I have recovered from a seemingly hopeless state of mind. And that is true. So all I had to do is take clear-cut directions. The book tells us precisely how we have recovered. Clear-cut directions. That means I don't have to figure shit out. Of course I'm going to fight it. Of course I'm going to argue because it doesn't make sense to me right now. It didn't make sense to me in the beginning, but somehow by miracle, I have learned to, if it doesn't make sense, to ask a question, write it down, and just think about it. Talk to my sponsor, talk to someone about it. So, yeah, anyways, I hope you guys are having a great day. I hope your sobriety, I hope you're treating sobriety the right way, the good way. How is your life? And if it's not going good, if it's not happening, talk to someone. Take the 12 steps. Talk to your sponsor or just talk to anyone. You don't have to go through life like this all by yourself. There's plenty of people that will listen to you. Don't ever think because it's you and you're unique and we're not going to understand that we won't understand. Give someone a chance. Give yourself a chance and just talk to somebody and see what happens. Take that poison out of your body, out of your heart, out of your mind, and give it to the universe. Let the universe deal with it and just help another person out too. So pay it forward. So anyways, all right, peace out.